Welcome back to Variologies. Today we're going to continue the book of Revelation from a Preterist perspective series, and we're going to look at the 7 trumpet blasts of judgment. Again, today we're diving into the fascinating and intense part of the narrative of the book of Revelation, the 7th seal, which gives way to the 7 trumpet blasts. And we're going to explore how these trumpet blasts are warnings of judgment and that they were fulfilled in the first century. As we've looked at in previous video, the scroll that Jesus takes, which has 7 seals, is a symbol for the pronouncement of judgment upon the nation of Israel. And when Jesus gets to breaking the 7th seal, there is a dramatic pause, and this signifies the solemn nature of the situation and the anticipation of what is to come. But what follows the silence is 7 trumpet blasts, which I believe symbolizes different aspects of the Roman-Jewish war in the 60s of the first century. These trumpet blasts are God's judgment upon Israel for their rejection of Jesus and for going their own way in various ways. We've covered this in previous videos. The first trumpet blast is accompanied by hail and fire and mixed with blood, burning 1/3 of the land, the trees, and all the green grass. And I think this represents Roman weaponry, including the fiery darts and the stones, which caused such terrible widespread destruction and burning in the land of Israel. As Josephus said, Vespasian, who was the Roman general, set the engines for throwing stones and darts round about the city. Stones of the weight of a talent were thrown by the engines that were prepared for that purpose, together with fire and a vast multitude of arrows. The second trumpet blast is accompanied with a great mountain of fire thrown into the sea, turning 1/3 of it into blood, killing sea creatures and destroying ships. And this was fulfilled with the fall of Jerusalem and represents the chaos of war. As Josephus also said, one might then see the lake all bloody and full of dead bodies. They were full of shipwrecks. The third trumpet blast is a great star named Wormwood, which falls, making 1/3 of the waters bitter and causing many to die. And this, I think, is fulfilled in the contamination of water sources with dead bodies, making them undrinkable. And this was reported to us by the historian Josephus. He said, the Jordan River could not be passed over by reason of the dead bodies that were in it. The Dead Sea was also full of dead bodies. The fourth trumpet blast is accompanied by 1/3 of the sun, moon, and stars being struck, resulting in darkness. This atmosphere in the sky was the result of a prodigious storm, as Josephus called it. And this is symbolic of the fall of Israel's leadership and the chaos that ensued, casting a shadow over the land. The fifth trumpet blast is accompanied by a star which falls from heaven, opening the bottomless pit, releasing locusts that torment the people for 5 months. This, I think, represents the demonic activity, so to speak, which is manifested in the torment of Jerusalem's inhabitants during the siege. The sixth trumpet blast is accompanied by 4 angels who are released to kill 1/3 of mankind with a vast army. But again, this is in the context of the Roman-Jewish war, and so it refers to the additional Roman forces that joined the war and led to significant casualties. As Josephus said, a considerable number of auxiliaries got together. They came from the kings Antiochus and Agrippa, Sahamis, Malchus. Also, the king of Arabia sent 1,000 horsemen. Finally, the 7th trumpet blast proclaims the establishment of God's kingdom. It says, the world has now become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever. The proclamation of God's kingdom signifies the ultimate victory of God's purposes despite the destruction. And so again, each of the trumpet blasts here in the book of Revelation was fulfilled in some way in the first century during the Roman-Jewish war and the fall of Jerusalem. And while the leadership of Israel was taken out and the temple was destroyed and the city of Jerusalem was destroyed, what remained, however, was the spiritual sovereignty of Jesus over the people, that the kingdom of this world had become the kingdom of our God and of his Messiah, and he will rule and reign forever and ever.